They expect a response, a defense, an explanation, a denial. They've already rehearsed their counterargument. They've already prepared their guilt trip. They're ready for you to step into the cage, and you give them nothing. Watch what follows. The silence you hold becomes a mirror they cannot escape. Their accusations hang in the air, unanswered. Their provocations dissolve into awkwardness, and slowly, they start to fill the void with their own fears, their own admissions, their own undoing. There is a version of you that hasn't learned this yet, a version that believes every question deserves an answer, every attack deserves a defense, every silence is a failure to communicate. That version is exhausted and easily controlled. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, chapter 17, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." And nothing generates more unease in a manipulator than the realization that their move didn't land. The dog fills every silence with noise. He explains, he justifies, he begs to be understood. The wolf knows, the one who speaks first loses. Today, we dive into 6 forms of strategic silence. Not the silence of the victim, but the silence of the executioner. You'll learn when to speak, when to pause, and when to vanish into the void. Form 1. The pause weapon. Most people are terrified of silence. They feel compelled to fill it. They think a gap in conversation means something has gone wrong. The first form of strategic silence is the pause weapon, using an extended deliberate pause mid-conversation to shift power without a single word being spoken. Here's how it works. Someone says something provocative. Instead of rushing to respond, you stop. You look at them. You let 3 seconds pass. 4, 5. In that silence, their brain starts to panic. Did I say something wrong? Is he angry? Is he ignoring me? They will often fill the gap themselves with a weaker argument, an apology, or an admission they didn't intend to make. The dog rushes to defend. The wolf pauses, watches, and lets the other person hang themselves. In your next conversation where someone challenges you, try a 3-second pause before responding. Don't fill it. Just look at them. Notice how often they start talking again, and how often what they say next weakens their position. Form 2. Non-reply positioning. Some messages do not deserve a reply. Some accusations do not deserve a denial. Some people are not worth the energy of a response. The second form is non-reply positioning, choosing when a non-response becomes the most powerful statement available to you. You receive a text designed to provoke. You hear a rumor designed to wound. You're asked a question designed to trap. And you say nothing. Not because you have nothing to say, because your silence says everything. The dog thinks silence means weakness. The wolf knows silence means you are not worth my words. Identify one communication this week that is clearly designed to bait you. Do not respond. Let the message sit. Watch what happens next. Often, they will send a second message, angrier, more revealing, more desperate. That's the data you need. Form 3. Silence under interrogation. This is where most people break. Someone applies direct pressure. They demand an explanation. They ask the same question 3 times, each time louder, each time more aggressive. The third form is silence under interrogation. Maintaining composure and presence when someone is trying to force you to speak. You do not explain. You do not defend. You do not raise your voice. You simply sit in the silence, calm, unreadable. They will escalate. They will try to shame you, to anger you, to bait you into saying something regrettable. And when you don't, they will eventually exhaust themselves. And in that exhaustion, they may reveal the very thing they were trying to hide. The dog cracks under pressure, says too much, regrets it for weeks. The wolf waits. The wolf watches. The wolf lets the interrogator become the one who looks unstable. Next time someone demands an answer you're not ready to give, say, "I'll respond when I'm ready." Then go silent. Do not fill the silence. Let them sit in it. Form 4. The vacuum effect. Here's where silence becomes a tool for extraction. The fourth form is the vacuum effect. Understanding how unbroken silence creates an uncomfortable void that the other person will almost always scramble to fill, and expose themselves in doing so. You ask a question. They give a partial answer. Instead of following up with another question, you say nothing. You just wait. The silence becomes a vacuum. They feel compelled to fill it. And what they fill it with is almost always more than they intended to share. "Well, I mean, it's not that I don't trust you." Look, the real issue is, "To be honest, I've been thinking." The vacuum pulls the truth out of them. The dog chases the answer with more questions, giving them time to craft a better lie. The wolf sits in the silence and lets the truth surface on its own. In your next negotiation or difficult conversation, ask one open-ended question. Then shut up. Count to 10 in your head. Watch how often the other person reveals something they didn't mean to say. Form 5. Withholding reassurance. Manipulators thrive on your need to be seen as good. They know that if they imply you've hurt them, you will rush to reassure them. You will apologize. You will offer concessions. This is refusing to comfort someone who is trying to use their distress to control you. They sigh dramatically. They look away. They say, "I guess I'm just not important to you." The dog rushes to say, "No, of course you are. I'm sorry, let me fix it." The wolf says nothing, or says, "That's an interesting way to see it," and moves on. You are not responsible for managing their emotions. When you stop performing that role, they have to face themselves, and that is often terrifying for them. The next time someone tries to guilt you with a dramatic sigh or a passive-aggressive comment, do not respond. Change the subject. Or simply say, "I hear you." Then stop. Notice how they react. Form 6. Recovery framing. After a period of strategic silence, you may choose to re-enter the conversation, but how you do it matters. This is re-entering a conversation after strategic silence without appearing to have lost ground or given up the position. You don't apologize for the silence. You don't explain it. You simply resume as if nothing happened, because nothing did happen. You were just not speaking. Back to what we were discussing. As I was saying before, no explanation, no justification. The dog feels compelled to explain the silence. "Sorry, I was thinking," which signals that the silence was a problem. The wolf resumes, and the silence becomes just another tool in the arsenal. After a period of strategic silence, re-engage with a neutral statement. Do not mention the silence. Do not apologize. Watch how the dynamic has shifted. Here's the part most people won't do. What do you fill silence with when it becomes uncomfortable? What fear is underneath that reflex? Fear of being seen as rude? Fear of being abandoned? Fear of losing control? Fear of what they might think of you? And whose opinion makes you feel compelled to speak, even when you know silence would serve you better? A parent? A partner? A boss? Someone whose approval you've been chasing since childhood? The dog avoids these questions because they lead to uncomfortable answers. The wolf answers them because silence is not just a tactic, it's a muscle, and muscles grow in discomfort. Today, practice one form of strategic silence, just one. Maybe you use the pause weapon. Maybe you refuse to reply to a baiting message. Maybe you sit through an uncomfortable silence without filling it. Maybe you withhold reassurance from someone who's trying to guilt you. You're not trying to become cold. You're trying to stop being the one who always speaks first, explains too much, and hands them the rope. If this episode landed, if you've ever spoken when silence would have served you better, Then subscribe. You're learning to make your quiet louder than their noise. In the next video, we lift the lens from the personal to the systemic, manufactured crises. Because once you master silence as an individual, you'll start to see how the same tactic is used against entire populations. The dog fills every silence with noise. The wolf knows the one who speaks first loses. Master the game. Guard your mind.